With 21st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select
Miami Dolphins select offensive tackle J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Now, this is like a real contention point right here. And there might be people that are saying that is not the offensive tackle they're going to take. And they're going to even say, hey, why is Amarius Mims still on the board? He is a freak of nature. The guy looks like he could play tight end, which is insane to me. And this really is going to be down to opinion of what's left. And there's going to be teams that are saying, I wouldn't draft Latham before the 20th pick. I wouldn't draft Mims before the 20th pick. And then there's going to be teams that were saying as soon as 10, they're draftable. They're to me, they're their value after 10. And so I think here, just breaking it down, I think it goes Latham. I think Latham's just a better seamless fit here. So if you're talking about transition and wanting to make that easier, I think you go J.C. Latham over Mims here, but I think that's going to be a huge kind of contention there when there's two offensive tackles on the board and the Miami Dolphins are selecting.
With the 22nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama. Are they forced into this pick? Absolutely not. Do they need a cornerback so bad it might just make them take Kool-Aid McKinstry? It is. Because, I mean, there's some concerns with Kool-Aid McKinstry, his physicality, and everything that they're. I mean, that's a tough division to be worrying about a lack of physicality. But sometimes at the NFL game, there's going to be a cornerbacks coach that's going to say, let me work with him. We're going to get that figured out. That's not a problem for me. And he certainly has, the Kool-Aid McKinstry has the build to step in and play right away. And that's why I think right here, the Philadelphia Eagles, they need a ready-to-play corner. Kool-Aid McKinstry, when we're talking about last batch, Terrion Arnold's already off the board. This is your last chance to get a Nick Saban-led corner here, and it goes right here at pick 22.
With 23rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chargers select.
We talked about this before. Remember, at pick 11, the Chargers select Brock Bowers. Everybody's talking. Even now, if you listen to any of the other mock drafts, they're going to say, hey, the Chargers, they want to beef up the offensive and defensive line. That's why this pick's going to be shocking. The wide receiver, Brian Thompson Jr. from LSU. And suddenly you're saying, what? The Chargers were supposed to get Joe Alt, or a defensive player, to stop the run game. But no, instead, you get value finding what a lot of people consider to be the best wide receiver product, just without all of the resume to back it up. But so far, physicals, everything you see, he's grading out like a number one receiver should. Yet, with all the talent that's on the board and all the wide receivers before him on the board, there is a possibility that Jim Harbaugh could be, is it Jim or John? This is a brothers thing. Jim. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh could be fallen into two of the best offensive talents in the board after trading back. He takes Brian Thompson Jr., and suddenly you go from, hey, we have one of the most expensive but talented wide receiver rooms, even just pass catching rooms, let's call it that. Then they go through and they shed a lot of that weight. Now you say that's a lot of dead cap money, not a lot of players to play with this year. They're going to have to get somebody. Well, now they bring in Brock Bowers. Now they bring in Brian Thomas Jr., and that's one of the most exciting and eventually cheap backfields you're going to have for a few years, which is going to be fine because you're going to be paying Herbert, and you're going to need a little bit of that money saving to get two very, very talented players if you get Brian Thompson Jr. at 23, which we have them going. Next is pick 24.
With the 24th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select.
Yes, and we've talked already about it 3 or 4 times. I've said a hand and glove fit, but I don't think anything's quite like this, right? Offensive tackle Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. And suddenly it says, duh. Jerry Jones loves his Oklahoma. He's probably watched this every single game of this guy, and he's going to pick him immediately. I said the same thing about the Philadelphia Eagles picking Mims just because he is a Georgia Bulldog rather than any other aspect. But I think this is a great fit as well. You let go of Tyron Smith, who goes to the Jets and helps out Aaron Rodgers, and suddenly you're going to need to fill a hole that's been a hole for a while, right? Hasn't been able to stay healthy throughout a whole season. The Jets themselves are probably not relying on Tyron Smith to stay healthy throughout the season. So now you go get yourself Tyler Guyton, Oklahoma. It's a solid starter. Maybe yet another guy that stays for another 10 and 15 years and continues the tradition of good offensive linemen in the capital of NFL football.
With the 25th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select.
It was only a matter of time. Defensive tackle Jerzon Newton from Illinois. We've talked about this, just like the cornerbacks. Once one goes, it's a matter of time. And slipping down this far might not happen for Jerzon Newton, because once Byron goes, it's Jerzon Newton or nothing in this first round. In my opinion, the Green Bay Packers, this is a fantastic spot for him, but it's also a pretty good spot for Ennis Rakestraw, Missouri's Ennis Rakestraw, or Minnesota's Tyler Nubin. This is not a sexy pick, right? This isn't going to wow anybody after having a pretty good end of the year last year. Maybe there's going to be some fans clamoring to get a wide receiver, which Green Bay never does, or maybe look somewhere else. But when I'm looking at the board here, it almost feels like a crime not to take Jerzon Newton and Ennis Rakestraw. It's like Ennis Rakestraw is like if you had a 28th pick, this might be a better way. But right now you're at the 25th pick, and I think Jerzon Newton's a slam for that 25th pick.